Hey guys, what's up? Elders from the Forex Trading Lines. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I'm gonna show you how to scalp on the 5-minute time frame. So let's begin our session. So currently I'm on the USDJPY currency pair 1 hourly time frame. What you do basically, to trade on 5 minutes is you have a look at certain time frames, maybe 1 hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes. But basically what you want is some sort of consolidation, basically making W and M patterns, because that's what the markets do. He has to trade in between these two areas. That's the way I would scalp, at least personally. So currently we see some sort of area of sensitivity in between these two zones, right? But generally, I would just go into the lower time frames, such as 15 minutes. In the 15-minute time frame, we see, an area consolidation, right? It moved, up and down in this area before breaking towards the downside. This is a good area to trade on. So let's pretend we are somewhere around here. We start seeing, an area of consolidation, right? We see, the resistance line at the top. We see the bottom support line at the bottom. What we can start doing in this area is basically go on the 5-minute time frame. There we go. We see this area of sensitivity. We see it a little bit more clearly. If we had to just draw the lines, properly, I would use the rectangle tool. There we go. First rectangle, second rectangle, there we go. So we have now established our areas of sensitivity, resistance and support. So what does that actually mean for us, on the 5-minute time frame? Well, generally I would use a moving average as well. So if we just use an indicators, maybe find moving average, there we go, we add moving average in. I personally like using 50, 100 or 200, so let's just do 100 or something like that. We see it on the 100 that it's currently on a downtrend. You don't have to be genius to find out. The candlesticks are currently trading below the 200 or 100, excuse me, moving average line, which means it's on a downtrend. So the best position we can place for a scalp trade is a sell position, right? Because it's on a downtrend. On overall position, the market has been going down. So entering the position when it's overbought is what's gonna make us money on the scalping 5-minute time frames. So what do? Look, we just have to wait for some sort of area of consolidation, maybe a pullback towards the previous resistance line, and then we can sell it all this time, every time. So let's just play what would have happened. Let's see it. It's start moving down, and look, it kind of pulled back over here. That's what I like personally. Look, if we just drag it, we see it over here. Boom. What do we see? Well, we see the market reacted towards the 100 moving average line. It's also an area of sensitivity on the 5-minute time frame, an area of resistance. So when it pulled back like this, it's going to be a nice indicator towards the downside, push. But why is that? Well, it's reacting to the 100 moving average line, has resistance. We also know that these two candles over here, they started to shoot towards the downside. That's why you would have entered the trade, because the moving average, it started to move like this. The moving average of 100 started to move down as well. So this means once it touches this area, it will act as resistance. And because we established this zone as well as area of sensitivity, it's just a nice double confirmation from the moving average and your rectangle, that you drawn for resistance to drop down. And this is what's happened. You would have entered the trade somewhere around here, and you would have made 15 to 30 pips depending on how much you're willing to risk for a scalp. I also know what you're asking, can you trade the breakout? Yes, you can. You could have traded, potentially here, but we see it, it's an area of sensitivity here. I wouldn't have personally entered on this candle, because this candle over here gave it away. We see, a lot of buyers in this area, so when it pulled back like this, I wouldn't have entered in here for a sell trade, because it needs a pullback anyway. So that wouldn't have been the ideal entry, because we know that there's buyers somewhere around this zone. So that's what happened. Look, it pushed towards the upside. Then you would have entered here. Could have been a nice trade, but we also can enter on a break. Where do we actually enter? Well, we know the resistance zones and support zone is somewhere around here. So after a break, there's always going to be an exhaustion. An exhaustion means there's going to be a pullback towards the previous area of sensitivity, which is, this area over here, right? This green rectangle support. So look what happens with the markets. It pulled back, towards this area over here, which was the previous support, and started to drop down. This would have been a nice trade towards the downside, especially if you entered it somewhere around here. These three candles, we see, a pin bar, green bar, and a bearish engulfing candle on the 5-minute time frame. What does it mean? Is bearish pressure. The sellers are in the market. Look, 17 pips profit. Easy as that. price action scalping 5 minutes. Easy to do and easy to follow as well. If we have a look at the candlesticks next to it, we can see the same thing, the same pattern over here. We see an area of sensitivity in these zones, right? So we know there's an area of sensitivity somewhere around here. We see it here already. We see a bottom support as well. You could have potentially, you know, but I wouldn't do that, but you could have potentially do an area of sensitivity, something in regards to this, but I wouldn't, because it's too small for the 5 minute, you know, time frame. You know, these candles are just not sufficient enough. There has to be some sort of, you know, area, some sort of sufficient amount of movement, so that way you know that it's actually a consolidation phase. We know it's an area of sensitivity here. We know it's an area of sensitivity here as well. So look, the market started to move. We also know it's on a downtrend on the higher time frames. If we have a look on the 15-minute, we see it, you know, over here is going down. On the 5-minute time frame, what do we see? You know, the 100 moving average, you know, the blue line is still trading above the candlesticks. It's on a downtrend. So where would we enter? We would enter somewhere around here. It's touching the 100 moving average line. It's also an area of sensitivity. If we just use the rectangle tool, look, area of sensitivity over here. We knew it. It was previously an area of sensitivity. How do we know that? If we just use the brush tool, look at this candle over here. This was broken. This was a previous area of sensitivity. We see it, you know, it moved around, pushed towards the upside, broke down. This break over here confirms that it's an area of sensitivity somewhere around this zone. So when it touched this area of resistance and it was touching the 100 moving average line, you can be sure that it's a double confirmation and it will go down. And that's what's currently happened. And if you sold it over here, you would have made a nice, you know, 15 probably pips profit. That was 18 pips. That's pretty damn good. And you could have done the same thing over here. Look, it pushes back. It's near the area of sensitivity. It's also 100 moving average line touching it, as well as a bearish engulfing candle close. We see your two candles next to it, and look, and one candle, the red candle, is much bigger than the rest, confirming it's a bearish engulfing candle. Sellers are in the market, push the market down. Simple and easy like that. And that's the way I would do it personally. It doesn't matter on which currency pair you do it. It's the same thing all the time. Simple and easy strategy on price action. You just need to find the right time to do this. And since you are scalping, you can find all of these opportunities multiple times throughout the day. You know, you can find it on NZD USD, you can find it on USD Swiss franc. All we really need is the markets to trend a little bit on the higher time frames, you know, to find signals. So you see, this is trending on the 1 hourly time frame. Very good indicator. Sell the orders that have been overbought, right? So on the lower time frames, you come in, and always when it's quite high on an area of resistance, you're gonna sell it. Vice versa, if it had, you know, the 100 moving average line, this blue line over here, trading, let's say below of these candlesticks, maybe somewhere around this zone, then you would be buying the trades every time it goes low. Then it's, you know, oversold or something like that. It's touching an area of support, you start shooting towards the upside. But you just need to find something, you know, smooth, something in regards to this. And then on the, you know, 15-minute time frame, 5-minute time frame, you find, you know, nice trades and consolidation areas where the markets move like that, and after a break you start going down. This is the way you trade. Personally, that's the way I would do it. Simple and easy strategy. You might want to even try, you know, the strategy with 50, you know, is a little bit faster, so not always there's gonna be a high probability opportunity, so that's why I would use 100. But some people are not as patient and might want to maybe trade more, and you can, you know, but I'm just saying, all of these entries, you see a consolidation phase over here as well. You could have entered potentially here, but they wouldn't make as much pips as the 100 moving average. So hopefully you understand this. Hopefully I explained everything correctly. If not, or you don't understand something, make sure to leave a comment. I'll try to re-explain myself and hopefully help you guys out to trade Forex profitably. This was Elders from the Forex Trading Alliance. Hope you have a wonderful day. Make sure to join my VIP trading signals group. We have been killing the markets recently. Even now I have 2 trades open that are totally killing it and reach my take profit level. So take care guys, have a wonderful day, peace out and goodbye.
Everything changes.